Okay, everyone, this is a review of decimals and how we multiply decimals by place values or by multiples of 10. I want us to start by thinking about $1. Okay, we're going to put that 1 in the ones column here. So please do that with me. Our $1 goes in the ones column. But when we write a dollar, we actually say we have 1 and 0 cents. Okay, that means that we don't have any dimes, we don't have tenths, and we don't have any pennies, which are hundredths. Now, if we divide that dollar into 10 equal parts, if we take that dollar and we divide it into 10 equal parts, there's our whole dollar here, right? We've divided it into 10 parts, which are tenths, right? So 100, well, okay, let's say $1 divided by 10 gets us 1 dime, or 1/10 of a dollar. So we're going to put our 1 here, okay, in our tenths column. When we have a tenth of a dollar, we also need to show that we actually don't have, hang on one sec. So as I was saying, when we divide $1 by 10, we have 1/10 of a dollar, which is 1 dime. So our tenths is right before the decimal place. And it can look like that, but we always need to say when we're talking about something that's less than 1 whole, we need to show that we don't have anything. We have 0 whole numbers. So that's why we always have that 0 before the decimal point when we're talking about decimals. And we don't have it here. We don't say 0, $1, right? That's not how we write $1, but we do if we're talking about something that's less than a dollar or less than 1 whole. Okay, so, and remember, we can put extra zeros on the end, but that we really do need it in the beginning, especially if there isn't a dollar there, which there isn't. There's only 1/10 of a dollar. Okay, if we divide 1/10 of a dollar by 10, then we're down to hundredths. Okay, so dividing 1/10 of a dollar by 10 means that we have 1/100th, or 1 penny. Okay, if we're writing 1/100th, we can write it as a fraction, or we can write it as a decimal. It's in the hundredths place, but we need to show, do we have any tenths here? No, we don't, so we need to put that 0 here. Do we have any ones, $1? No, this is 1/100th of a dollar, so it's a small amount. So we need to say that we have 0 ones and 0 tenths. Okay, so now we're going up. This is easy. What happens if we multiply $1 by 10? 1 times 10 means that we have $10. So we're going to put the 1 in the tens column. So this is how we see it moving. We see the 1 in the tens column. But remember, now that we're in whole numbers, we need to add zeros until the decimal point, right? Because we need to say, I have a 1/10 and I have 0 ones. That's 10. That's what 10 looks like, right? Okay, 10 times 100 is 100. So our 1 now is moving over to the hundredths place, and we need to add zeros to show that we're talking about 100. Okay, 100 times 10 is 1,000. So that 1 now gets moved over to the thousandths place. We have 0 hundredths, 0 tens, 0 ones, 1,000. Or we can actually, what we can say is we have 1,000 ones. Okay, so yeah, that's what that means. All right. So this is where we can see, remember, when we were doing this in the place value chart that looks like this, we're moving it left and right, but it's the same thing, right? We're moving it across the place value chart. And here we can see that we are moving it left and right. So if we divide by 10, now we're in the hundredths place. If we divide by 10, we're going right. We're going into smaller numbers. Okay, let's practice on the next side. We're looking at $2. It's the same thing, okay? If we have $2, we divide $2 by 10, that means now we only have 2 dimes, or we only have 2 tenths. Okay, so there's 1/10 and 2/10. Because if $1 divided by 10 is 1/10, then $2 divided by 10 is 2/10. How do we write that? 0.2. Okay, 2/10 divided by 10 again. Look at this. We can see our 2/10, and we can even see how we divide it into 10 equal parts right here. Okay, so divided by 10 is just 2 hundredths. So our 2 goes in the hundredths place, and we have no tenths, right? We have 2 hundredths. There they are. No tenths, and we still have no ones because we only have 2 pennies. Very sad. Okay, now let's go back up to ones times 10. Oh, I'm getting bigger by another 10. I'm going to move it over to the tens place. I have 2 $10 bills. Boom, boom. We can draw them here. There's 1. There's 2. So that means we have 20, right? 2 tens is 20. 2 tens times 10 is 2 hundredths. 2 hundredths times 10 is 2 thousandths. You can draw those if you want. 100, 1,000. This $1,000 bill is fake. There is no such thing as a $1,000 bill, but it's fun to see it on there. All right. So, pause, copy, whatever you need to do. Make sure you've got this written down. Now let's go on to this page. So now we're going back to this concept of moving it left and right. Okay. So we're looking at multiplying and dividing by 10, and we're looking at multiplying and dividing by 100. Let's remember, 3 ones divided by 10. Here's our 3 ones. If we divide that by 10, imagine this would be 3 of these boxes, right? And if we're dividing each of them by 10, that means that we would have 1/10 in one box, and then another 10th in the other box, and 3, so it's 3/10 total. Oops, gosh, I'm sorry, you guys. We need to put this down here. Okay, so we're going to put this down here. 3/10 goes right here, okay, because our 3 ones divided by 10 becomes 3/10. And we need to remember that's 0.3 because we have no dollars. We have 3/10, which is, remember, dimes, and we've got our dimes things right there, okay? 0.3. Okay, what if we divide 3/10 by another 10? 0.3. We can draw our 3/10 again. 1, 2, 3. This is very wobbly. Okay, there we go. Can we see? Yeeks. Let's move it up a little bit so you guys can see better. Come on. All right. So we have 3/10. If we're dividing that into 10 equal parts, okay, remember it's going to look like this. These are our tenths. We're dividing that by 10. Okay, so that's 1/10. If we're dividing it into 10 one time, we're looking at that, which is 3 hundredths. 3 pennies is those 3 little blocks, right? And we have no dimes. Okay, here's our 3 pennies. We can draw them here, here, and here. We can draw them here, here, and here, which is usually how I prefer we draw it. But okay, so 3 pennies means that we have no dimes. And remember, we also have to say we still don't have a dollar. We only have 3 pennies. Okay, so this is 0.03. Anything after the decimal, if we have a blank here, we need to show that there's 0 there. And we also need to remember to show that we don't have a 1. Okay, next page. All right, let's see what happens now. Now we divided 3 by 10, and then we divided it by 10 again. So we should be able to see what we just did. If we divide by 10 and then 10 again, that means that we divided by 100, right? So we're starting with the 3 ones that we had in that first problem. But this time, instead of dividing it 10 at a time, we're going to divide it by 100, which is really just going 2 places to the right because it's going to get smaller by 100 times, 10 times 10. Okay, so we know that there's 2 tens in 100, or two sets of tens. Okay, so that means that we're going to move over 1 place value and 2 place values to the hundredths. We're getting smaller. Okay, so 3 ones divided by 100 is 3 hundredths. Now, how do we write that? We need to make sure that we're writing it as, there's our 3 hundredths. Okay, do we have any tenths? No, we only have those 3 hundredths. Do we have any ones? Not anymore. We are done with our ones. We only have 3 pennies. So what that means is that if we had like $3 and we had to divide it between 100 friends, we could do it, but it would just mean that each person would get 3 pennies. Okay. Now, let's say that instead of dividing by 100, let's say that we have $3 that we're going to give to 100 friends. Each friend gets gets $3. So, blah, blah, blah. There we go. Can you see? Okay. Each friend gets $3. We have 100 friends. That's a lot of friends. Well, how much money did I hand out? 3 times 100. We should know that. That's easy math. 3 times 100 is 300. We move over 2 place values. 3 times 100 is 300. It puts us in the hundreds place. But we need to show, we can't just show that we have 3 in the hundreds. We need to put our zeros there. 300. And that means boom, boom, boom. Okay, let's put our 3 ones. Okay. Next page. All right, now we're at 3.3. Whoopsies. 3.3. There we go. 3.3 or 3 3/10. So let's do 3.3. That means we have 3 ones and 3/10. Okay. We're going to multiply that by 100. Well, we know that 3 ones times 100 is 300 because we move over 2 place values. Okay, so 3 ones times 100 is, this is not staying very well. I'm sorry, you guys. 3 ones times 100 is 300. So we can put our 3 in the hundreds place. But what about our tenths? Well, it's also going to move over 2 place values because we're talking about 2 sets of 10. So that's going to move over 1, 2. Our 3 and 3 both move over 2 place values. So now we're talking about 3 hundreds, 3 tens, and 0 ones. So that's 330. Pay attention to there. So 300, 3 tens, and 0 ones. That's 330. Okay. Okay, let's look at dividing 33 by 100. This is now 33 means we have 3 tens and 3 ones, right? 33, 3 tens and 3 ones. Let's draw those. 1, 2, 3 tens. 1, 2, 3 ones. Divided by 100. Okay, we just saw that when we multiplied by 100, we went up 2 place values into the bigger numbers. When we divide by 100, we're going to go down 2 place values. So let's do that. If we know that 1 divided by 100 gets us 3 hundredths, we're going to take both of these, right? And we're going to go bunk, bunk. So this 3 goes 1, 2 over, and this 3 goes 1, 2 over. They're still attached. Okay, so that means we have 3 tenths. 1, 2, 3 tenths, and we have 3 pennies. Okay, that means we have 33 hundredths. We have 0 ones. We only have 33 cents. That's it. Okay, so if we had $33, we divided them by 100 friends, each person would get 33 cents. So that's 0.33. Okay. Next page. All right. 320 by 10. Write it out. Draw it out. 3 hundreds, 2 20s, 0 ones. Okay, we're going to divide that by 10, and then we're going to divide by 100. 320 again, divided by 100. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to pause here, and then I want you to do it and check your work. Okay, so here's what I got. 320 divided by 10 is, I'm going to move it just over one place value, right? So my hundreds go to the tens, my 2 goes to the ones, and that 0 can go to the 10th, but let's talk about that. So 320 divided by 10 gets us 3 tens, 2 ones, 32 total, but we have no tenths. So here's my question. Do we need that 0? Do we need to say that we have no coins, no dimes, no pennies? No, not necessarily. We can just say that we have $32, right? Or 32 whatever. And it's okay to put the zeros, but we don't need them, okay? Next is this one, 320 divided by 100. Well, if 320 divided by 10 is 32, then we need to keep going over one more place value. We're going to go back, we're going to go over one more. We're dividing, we're getting smaller. So that 3 and that 2 move 1, 2 place values over. That means our 3 is in the ones place, our 2 is in the tenths place. So that means we have 3.2, or 3 and 2 tenths. And again, same thing. We can put the 0 there. And with money we do, because we like to say, oh, I have 20 cents, right? With money we say $3.20, but we don't need it. If we're talking about pretty much anything else, we can also just talk about it as 3 and 2 tenths. Okay, we're going to do the next page now. Now I'm looking at 32 hundredths times 10 and 32 hundredths times 100. Okay, there's our decimal. That's 3 tenths, 3 tenths, 2 hundredths. I want to see you coloring. Okay, we're going to put it up top and down below. 32 hundredths. That's easy. You should know how to color. And remember, we have no ones, so be sure to cross out that 1. No ones means cross out the 1, okay? All right, I'm going to pause it. I'm going to do the math, and I want you to copy it after me if you didn't get it right, or just check your math. Try it on your own. Okay, so here we go. We moved it over one place value because it's 10, right? 10 means that we're getting bigger by just one place value. So our dimes become ones. If we had 3 dimes times 10, 1 dime times 10 is $1, 2 dimes times 10 is $2, 3 dimes times 10 is $3. So $3, and then same with the pennies. If we have 2 pennies times 10, that means now we have 2 dimes. Okay, so that's 3.2. Make sure you're drawing those 3 ones, 2 tenths, so that's 3 and 2 tenths. Okay, and down here, 32 hundredths times 100, we're moving it over 2 place values because 100 is 2 sets of tens, right? So move it over 1, 2, instead of having 32. If we had, let's think of it this way. I have 32 cents and I give each friend 30. If I give 100 friends 32 cents, I will have given away $32. And we can put zeros. Actually, here's a question. We have this 0 right here. And we can see that in the other one too. We have this 0 here. Do we need to put that 0 here? Have we ever seen when we have 32 that we're putting zeros in these place values? No, we don't do that, right? So you can, I guess, and people are going to be like, why are you putting all these zeros there? We don't do that. We do it back here, but we don't do it up here. Okay, so 32 is just plain old 32. We can say that there's nothing back here, right? We can add the zeros back here and say, I have $32 and no cents, right? Or I have $3.20, or I have $3 and 200 thousies, but we don't do thousies. So anyway, Okay, we can do that. All right. I hope this is making more sense. I hope that you're feeling like you can take the quiz and get a better grade on it. All right, nice job, everyone.